Hey, how's it going? Today is 22nd of January, Monday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available in the market. In this video, I thought it might be worth taking a look at some of the press releases, and gonna be taking a look at Europe and everything that's happening in Europe. There might be a slight difference on the structure and everything what's happening, and within this video, we're gonna be taking a look at commissions sends requests for information to 17 very large online platforms and search engines on the Digital Service Act. That will be Europe, and it was released on 18. Let's delve a little bit deeper and try to understand what's happening. Commission has sent formal requests for information under Digital Service Act, DSA, to 17 of the very large online platforms and search engines. VLOs and VLOCs designed on 25th of April 2023. Namely, I won't be saying names of those projects, but the massive ones, the biggest ones that you can think of, right? Myself, I'm looking to understand it. Perhaps the market is very regulated, so to say. I don't know all the details. I don't know everything what's happening, right? So one thing that I know, the UK is taking action is something that's recently was put together. This commissioner that made a speech or something that I have covered previously. I can't remember the name of the organization. It's 3 letters, but they are looking to regulate some of the big boys up in the market a little bit more and giving room for smaller players perhaps to enter. But I don't know if that's what Europe is doing. At least this is what should be doing. Myself, coming from an entrepreneurial background, I'm interested in perhaps developing my own projects, not necessarily would be able to engage with the big boys, and not necessarily big boys would be interested in doing it myself, engaging with me. So I'd rather do everything myself if I can. Even yesterday, I have filed one of the competition's paperwork, right? So I think it was Water on Moon. So for those of you who remember, I think it was yesterday. Even yesterday, I filed all the paperwork, all the documents, perhaps taking part in some of those competitions. So I have taken part in that, as well as I have sent all the documents, and I think all the information is going to be stored, not necessarily within the UK. I wish it would be stored within the UK. It might be stored somewhere overseas. Even that might be something worth concerning. So I have reached out to organizers, and I'm looking to find out if that's where the information is going to be held. I wish it would be within the UK, but that would be 2 partnerships, right, of Water of Moon, something that I have covered, and it would be stored perhaps in Canada. That would be as well as UK. So there would be partnerships. I hope there's a I hope it's not going to be stored somewhere else other than 2 partners. The best option would be beginning of storing that information within UK. That would be great, and we can work from there, right? Previously, I have taken a look at some of the projects that have been launched within France as well as Germany when it comes to search engines, but not necessarily that it's that easy thing to do, right? It's just competitions. Perhaps it's a better way of releasing different projects, not necessarily search engines, but because it's very popular, so to say, and so many people looking for information, that will be different projects offering that information to them, as well as I think it was Germany who had offered a solution where they would plant a lot of trees of people who might be interested in using the search engine. So that would be a unique selling point of that organization's project. But again, it's just one of the examples, right? And coming back to this article, right, let's delve a little bit deeper and try to understand what is going to be outlined. I don't know if it's that important other than EU is doing something. These, I will rephrase it, so the large platforms, they have the definitions for those, but I think it's just for technical terms, and later from my personal experience, those definitions would be constantly changing. So if this definition wasn't gonna work, they would change definitions and they would operate as normal, right? Even coming back to some of the examples that I have shared, like ChatGPT, right? At first it was non-profit, was great. So later they changed it to, they made it for profit, ChatGPT. So it was like that. Later we changed definition, and now that I'm reading opener, so that would be perhaps again the definition. So that would most likely they don't like it. we might drop some capital in it, and they would rephrase everything for different definitions. I think it's just a part of the game, but we all are reading here and wasting our time trying to understand, and later we're changing definitions and operating as nothing happened. Required to provide more information on the measures they have taken to comply with the obligations of given access without undue delay to the data that is publicly accessible on the online interface to establish research. Okay. So I don't know all the details, right? But that would be just an additional thing that these service providers might need to do. Access to data by researchers as a key ensure accountability and public scrutiny on platforms' policies. Oh, okay, so it might be trade secrets, so not necessarily those platforms might be interested in sharing that data, but either way, researchers' access to publicly available data greatly contribute to the goals of the DSA, which is practically important to review on upcoming events such as electronic elections and national and EU levels, as well as an ongoing monitoring of presence on illegal content and goods on online platforms. Oh, okay. So they're looking to take more measures, right? I don't know. I prefer less regulations coming from a business standpoint of view, because you need to hire a person, and that person needs to make sure that everything that you would do would be compliant with all the regulations. So I think that's just another thing that you need to spend money of making sure that your platform would do, and that would be just increasing operational costs, right? The 17 platforms, and I'll rephrase it, right, must provide the request information to the Commission by 8th of February 2024. Based on assessment of the replies, the Commission will determine the next steps. Following the designation as a very large online platforms or search engines. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? And they're tackling big boys after the 17 platforms. What I'm saying, or what I'm doing, it would be, okay, where's the European platform? That's the only thing that I care about. Okay, well, if we are taking a look at those platforms, I haven't actually understood it or have delved a little bit deeper, but I don't think that any of those 17 are European. Are there? Or perhaps there was started by Europeans and later sold to other organizations or countries within organizations, right? Perhaps it would be worth addressing why there isn't any European platforms, right? So just touching on that. Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a book or journal that will be Inflow. Within this journal, I'm taking a look at and offering a system, how you can develop your daily routines, and taking a look at where to begin, how to structure your time, and how to yourself you take your time and potentially optimize that time. That will be potentially starting with the feeling that you would have and you would like to do things differently. And you would ideally need to stick to doing things differently for roughly 70 days. That would be, if you were to work from cover to cover, that would be in 90 days. So it should be more than enough time if you were to stick with the system, as well as every page where that would be 24-hour windows, and every day addressing very important areas every single day, and how you potentially can overcome some of the obstacles every single day, and how to prepare you for what's coming. You can find it, QR code in the corner, company's website below. Just to close this video on, perhaps since we're taking a look at very large online platforms and search engines, right? So you every year, about the middle of the year, is offering support to platforms. If you yourself you're interested in developing some of the projects, there might be some incentives to do that. And if you think you have an idea how to develop very large online platforms, and or perhaps something like a search engines or similar ideas on how to develop those, you can receive funding for, I think it was for 2 projects every year, and the funding was about 50% or so, 45 or something. But things can change based on the history. That's something that was happening in the past, not necessarily that would be reflected in what will happen in the future, but hopefully, right? But just would be, just perhaps there isn't any projects as of now, perhaps in Europe, as I know, perhaps smaller ones, I guess. There should be more. And then we're taking a look at very large, and I don't know if there is any. So hopefully this is a bigger problem that should be addressed first. from there we can consider more regulations, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.